Here.
Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Buckley.
Here.
Warren present.
As you wish, please rise for the pledge and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Commissioner.
Dear Lord, thank you for the beautiful day you've given us. Thank you for coming and allowing us to be here today. I ask that you lead us and guide us to do the best for the county. Follow us throughout the day and throughout the week and help us and keep us strong. I ask this in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
I'd like to amend the agenda. Need to add the selection of an engineering firm based on qualified base selection for our sidewalk bike trail project. And select the firm from these qualifications. So a motion?
Make a motion that we amend the agenda to add qualified base selection of an engineering firm for the sidewalk bike trail project.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Consent agenda is as printed here and has been published. A motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, now we do have one table agenda item, and that is a change of status for these 4 roads I have in blue on here. And this is up at the top of the hill, above Rural King and Hobby Lobby, up that area. And so all those 4 roads are in that area up there. Now, in 2010, we had that commission back then took those roads on, but with partial maintenance only, not full maintenance. And so the road and bridge had a problem with that because it's not standardized. They want their people to go out and say, okay, here's the project, or here's what we do, and let's do it. They don't want to say, well, we can't do that here, we can't do that here. So they want to get it all standardized. And so what we'd like to do is change the wording on that 4/20/2010 minutes to read go from partial maintenance to full maintenance of those roads.
And this is not taking any new roads in.
Nope.
This is what we want to have.
Just change that procedure of how to do it on those roads.
And basically, we are taking care of it, like,
And we're getting the money for it.
yeah, and we are taking care of that road now.
But we don't do snow removal.
No.
And, ditches, that kind of thing.
Well, and if everybody's not quite sure where that's at, that's where you go up the big hill to the tower at Farmington, which is in Farmington City. But they have trouble, so normally our guys take the grader and go up the hill when it's rough anyway, because they're right there. So they're basically blading up to it anyway, and then we take care of the top.
Do the grader. Okay.
Yes, we've got 2 chain graders, go right up the hill, so it actually makes it easier for everybody, safer for them to come down that
Is
hill.
there a motion?
No, but there, okay. Well, I guess we just want a motion on the status change. Let's, I'll make a motion that we include the status change for those roads up top of what do we call that area?
Ridge top.
Bridge top for the 4/20/2010.
For the
Item.
clarification of that.
Yes.
Wish that was a state road, then we wouldn't have to worry about it. Chris Carter just walked in, or MoDOT guy.
He's out the door.
So we're blaming Chris for everything right now.
Need a second.
Anyway,
I will second that motion, and that's gonna be for full maintenance, right?
yeah, go from partial to full maintenance on it. Okay. Any questions, comments? Yeah, Rich.
What are CART funds?
Chris, what is that?
So I don't know what the acronym stands for, but essentially we inventory the county roads and we use a formula in order to use a certain pot of money that we get from the federal government, and we use the amount of roads and the condition it's in order to give each county their portion of that pot.
Is that federal or state money?
That is, I believe it's state money.
Okay. Now, I don't know the acronym, but
County
it is
Aid
the money.
Road Trust.
Say it again?
What is it?
County Aid Road Trust.
Okay. It's the money that we get every year from the state that helps us to pay for maintaining these roads. And it's about 420 miles right now.
So we still get those funds?
Yeah,
Yes.
we have been getting them for those particular 4 roads, but we've not been giving them full maintenance.
Okay.
So, okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, are we aware of any county employees or officials or anybody that owns property or
Say that again?
Is anybody from county officials or own property or houses?
Does it affect anybody from the county up there that we do
Yes.
that? Not that I know of.
That's fine. I just wanted
I
to
don't
see
know of
if there's-
anybody. Nobody's campaigned to me for anything like that.
Do you have anybody that's by you?
I do not.
I'm not sure, I can't say no, cause I'm not.
That's usually the first
No one
criticism
that I'm
of
aware
doing
of.
this for
Okay.
somebody's
Yes.
benefit.
Yeah.
And that means now we can't hire you.
No. I have a job, I'm glad.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor of the status change for those 4 roads, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you. And now you have full maintenance of the roadways up there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now, here's that change for the agenda. And we need a qualified base selection of an engineering firm. We've learned that there's a TAP grant, Transportation Alternative Program grant, available to build, in this case, sidewalks and bike trails around the school, and that needs us. So we found out that instead of sending out for new RFQs, requests for qualifications, we can use that stack that we already have. Yeah, he's forgot his stack. There's a stack back there that much.
Why don't we talk about the project first?
Yeah, what's up?
You wanna talk about the
Thank
project?
you.
Okay. Well, the West County School, you see where the kids are walking now, and often they get out on Highway M, high-speed traffic. And so that project, and I put down in the lower left, an insert of just what the sidewalk would look like. There won't be any street lights, but it's just a grass strip between that and the road to separate the 2 traffic. There'll be curbing, and build that sidewalk. It'll be a 5-foot wide sidewalk across there, so bikes and walking trail and that kind of thing, walking sidewalk. So we want to get a TAP grant to do this, and so we need an engineering firm to do that and to apply for the grant. So, does that explain?
I would recommend approving the project and applying for the grant
Yes.
before going on to the engineering part.
Okay, so, well, the very last item on the agenda today
Was approving it, that's what.
is approval of the West County sidewalks and bike trail.
So why don't we just move that up?
Yes.
And put your amended agenda item number 4, do that.
Okay.
And then we can go through the just normal order, and that will be the last thing on the agenda, and then you can do it the proper
We
way.
say, go ahead and do this now?
No, I would say go back to our agenda, because the agenda item should have been put as number 4, so let's just go through 1, 2, 3, and make that 4, and then we'll be in good shape. We'll be in
Okay.
the correct order.
So
So
do
we
what
go back
now?
to the general business.
Okay,
Item number 1, bid opening for 50 computers, 19.
okay, we'll go to that.
And then we'll go
Okay.
down and we'll throw that on 4th, and that will be
Okay.
put in the proper order.
I didn't know we were supposed to prioritize them on the agenda. Okay, bid opening for 50 computers, what do you have?
1.
And Nick, what do you do with the old computers?
We're gonna try to donate them. We'll pull the hard drives and the memory out of them, and we'd like to donate them to, I mean, they're still okay computers.
We call that a lobotomy?
Sure.
That's what we'd like to do, find some businesses or use some, we thought about, maybe using their actions, places like that that can use them. They'll just have to buy their own hard drive and memory for it.
Yeah,
We have 1 bid, of course, that will have to go through the auditors, make sure that the proper bid, and then, I assume you're gonna come back next week with a recommendation whether to or not to award that, is that correct?
Who is the bid from?
Something cool?
Something cool.
Something cool.
For how much?
Total's $39,226.
those are the same size screen and everything we have now?
Yeah, it's just replacing the tower, not the screens.
Okay. Okay.
So you'll have a chance to.
So we have that bid publicly open.
That's
It
right.
won't be acted on today.
Correct.
Right?
You
So
check and
the
make
next
sure
bid
it's a
opening,
spec.
next bid opening is for tuck pointing and cleaning of this building. Maintenance department's after this. How many bids?
There's 1 bid, and it's Eddie's Masonry, and they have their
Bond check?
bond check, and it is for $59,950. And he's here if you got any questions
Yeah.
from his, but that will be reviewed also. And
Did you bring the mortar?
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, would you like to basically speak on that any, or?
It's pretty self-explanatory. The maintenance department seemed to have a fairly clean-cut guidelines, scope of work for us to go to, so.
Yeah.
I would probably, you know, if we proceed with this, I'll probably make a few recommendations of changing a couple of things. There was some stuff that wasn't necessarily ideal in there. The benefit, cost, and time, so.
Do you have a big work backlog or any problems with that?
Yeah, everybody does right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're, like I say, we're a small enough firm, we don't have any huge projects going, so we're available. I've got it, I think I pegged the date to start in like 2 weeks out.
yeah, and could you go over a couple of the projects, just so that,
Basically, the scope of the work is to clean the entire building. It's getting kind of moldy and dirty just from airborne dust and dirt. And they have a good product for that. They spec it as BioClean. That's no longer manufactured. It's called Revive now, but it's the same company.
Is that a spray on or what is it?
Yeah, it's a spray-on cleaner. It's
Rinse it
really
off.
just kind of a heavy detergent. It has no acid base, so it doesn't etch anything or cause
for
any
which
issues.
facility?
And
For which facility?
for the annex.
Yeah, this is only for the annex.
This is only the
That's what
annex,
I'm-
right.
This is
Okay.
upkeep on this building.
Yeah. So anyways,
I don't think that was,
and then after that, there's some, a little bit of, couple of stones that are cracked or broken, we're gonna repair. And then they want us to recaulk all the windows and sills and stuff that are starting to deteriorate. And then seal the entire building with a siloxane sealer, which will give it a, you know, usually the manufacturer will give you at least a 15-year warranty on their sealers. So basically get the building all cleaned up and nice and watertight for the future.
On the cleaner and the sealer, are there any odors or anything that we would?
No, these are all waterborne products. So
Okay.
there's no VOCs, you don't have any smells. Our biggest challenge really is mostly kind of controlling the traffic and people around, that we'll do a section at a time, we'll road bottle and,
Yeah.
you know, get it to where it's secure. And we're doing a lot of work right now. We're doing the church next to Cozine. We just had a rig delivered there. We're gonna start cleaning that church. So very, you know, it's pretty clean cut. We got the building's not that old, but it just needs some maintenance.
Okay. We'll act on this next week, and after our maintenance supervisor has had a chance to look it over, and auditor and clerk will make sure that.
Yeah, have
everything's
Brian,
up to
whoever,
par.
give me a call if they got any questions.
Okay, and thank you for the bid.
I don't know why he's back to Rich is letting.
Okay, yeah, Rich.
May I ask if requests for bids were sent out to companies for both of these projects, the computer replacement at this job?
They were published.
and they were published in the paper.
So-
And they
so
went
that's-
on the sites of job, because we got some inquiries, or whatever, but everybody's real busy right now.
Are they
I
listed on
thought we'd
websites?
get a lot with the,
Yes, they are.
yeah. I thought we'd get a lot more with the.
I had a few people reach out to me and they were supposed to send them in, but
Decide they want to bid?
Yeah, I was just disappointed that we'd only get one bid back for each project.
Well, until 9:30 this morning, we had none for either one, and that's why I was gonna say, well, that's gonna be pretty short. Even though several people had contacted us as of 9:30, and then you walked in a little bit before that, and so, I mean, after that. So at 5 till 10, we finally got 2 bids, so.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comment? Yeah, Bob.
How long do you anticipate the completion of the project? How long?
I built 8 weeks in there to do it, basically 2 months, 8 weeks of time period. I'm sure we can do it in less than that. I just wanted to need a big enough window in case we, run into, actually high temperatures is worse than anything for us. Some of the sealers don't like to be applied above, 98 degrees. So you kind of got it this time of year.
We understand.
Gives us a window to
Don't
work in.
applied. That bid was just shy of 60,000. 59.95.
Okay, yeah.
Does tuck pointing include replacement of some mortar in between
the bricks are all your?
Yeah, there's a minimal amount on this building. There's a few places where we'll have to touch up the mortar a little bit. There's a couple of these, I call them stones, they're actually cast concrete product that you see on the bottom of the building, that big brown ones. Those have a couple of cracks in there. Those really can't be replaced because they don't exist. I mean, they're a special order item, they're done per job, nobody has them. So those we will repair them and probably add a joint and straighten them up and caulk those to seal those. Really what you're trying to do is keep your water out.
Grind out the crack and fill it.
Fill it with, yeah. So, yeah, it's, like I said, the building's not in too bad a shape.
Any other?
Well, I was gonna ask, Matt, how long have you been in business?
This is our 48th year.
Yeah, Rich had an answer, they're local around here and they've been in business 48 years.
We did the original building.
Yeah.
Hey, don't tell them that, cause
You did this building
they're.
originally?
Yeah.
Well,
Did
tell
you
us
hang,
the
do
real.
with the air conditioning?
I wouldn't take that one.
Nothing to do with it, right?
Not a clue.
Okay, well, we will act on this next week, and thank you again for the bid, we appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay, now, sir, what, we're down.
Now you're on the agenda to approve the project, and then you will go to, for the,
Okay, so we,
Contracts.
this project is based on a TAP grant, as I said previously. So do we want to proceed with this, or do I have a motion to proceed with the grant application?
I'll make a motion that we proceed with the TAP grant, application for approval at the West County Sidewalk and Bike Trail.
Second?
I'll second.
Question? Yes,
Is this project contingent upon grant funding?
yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
I
Rich?
would amend your motion to include that.
Okay, and that,
And we have an estimate of the
subject to
cost.
appropriation.
Not yet, gotta select the engineering firm yet. Any other select questions?
How many feet of it?
Hold on a second.
How long is the sidewalk?
No,
Is the distance of the sidewalk, 0.85 miles.
Okay, hold just a second.
Okay,
and your
we'll get into that
He
detail.
he amended his motion, and you need to
I'll
second
second
that,
his
and
motion.
now you
Yeah.
discuss it.
appropriation
To
funds.
the
Okay.
cows come home.
So,
Thank you.
contingent on a grant approval, we have a motion to accept this project, the grant application. And I
Now,
have both,
these TAP grants are available every year.
Yes.
So, that's the way most communities and counties have developed their green trails and other sidewalk projects. I'm not saying that we need sidewalk projects, but this is one that's on county roads that involves hundreds and hundreds of kids that are walking alongside county roads. I'm just saying that we may actually have a long-term plan that would involve the TAP.
well, and this was actually, it's for the county, and basically, this school district is in the county. And over there, it's like the superintendent when you talk. Say the high school, the middle school, and it all connects to the grade school. And a lot of times, when the freshmen or sophomores that would walk to the grade school to help over at the grade school, they're walking out on the highway. They're walking out on the edge of the highway, and we'll show you.
Highway M.
Highway M, and there's a little short distance there of grass, and I mean, these kids actually, there's a lot of traffic out there, and this was basically chosen to protect those kids, the safety part of those kids. And that's why we were looking at it. I mean, anywhere in the county, this would be one of the best places to use this grant. Because when you see the pictures later on, you'll understand why we chose this.
Chris, if you dig some potholes on Highway M and slow traffic down, kids will be safer. Bob?
Is this the first time that the county has participated in a sidewalk bike trail program?
Yes,
Yeah.
this
Based
will be
on-
the first.
Yeah, and the grant availability of it.
And it's like Kevin said, in the future, we'll be looking at this, you know, to add on or other places in the county, we can look to pursue this. Any place that's dangerous or we can help, we'll be looking into this.
The city could add on to this project if they want, or if they wanted it in their city limits, so it stops at the city limits, they could take over and actually add more, get a grant, add more to this sidewalk.
Jay,
I've
just a
got
second,
one more
Jay.
question. Maybe it's for the state. The sidewalk goes along the state route? And
Yes,
it's
it'll go
state-
along state routing.
Yeah, I think I've got a map showing that.
Okay, Well, I guess my question is the state participating or
So,
approved?
the way it works for us is we gave all applicants until June 30th to submit projects that are on our right of way. We actually got this one, I think, yesterday. We send that out to a core team group that looks at it and says yes or no, we're in favor of this because, or maybe you need to make some modifications to the type of facility or whatever it may be, or we're fine with it. We're reviewing that right now. The state basically administers the grant for federal highway. And we go through a selection process, so it's not a guarantee that you'll get this. It's gonna be competitive. The Southeast District for MoDOT, which is 25 counties in the Southeast District, we had, I think, $6.2 million. The maximum federal funds you can get on this is $500,000. So we're thinking 13, 14 projects are gonna get selected. But yeah, to answer your question, it may be on our right of way, but it doesn't directly involve us. We act as a go-between for federal highway.
Bob, a lot of times, they have different requirements for the state highway as far as distance. They usually don't put them like the cities do right along the street. They give you, like out H here, how much they have to be. And we give you permission to put it on our right of way, but it has to be this, this, this. That's what you're probably gonna be dealing with.
And there'll be some traffic issues during construction, that kind of thing.
And I heard you talking about the consultant on this. The reason you don't have to use the RFQ process for this one, I think, is because the design and construction inspection is less than $100,000. If it were over that, then you would have to use the request for qualification process.
Well, right now, Chris, we're in like negotiations. That's why we're applying this way. We're just negotiating right now to apply.
Dan?
It might be noted that this is the only school that's out in the county here. The rest of the
Away from
schools
town.
are in the city limits. This is the only one out in our jurisdiction.
And really, when you see it, Harold had the pictures up there, they need this over there. And I mean, what we're looking at, it'll have curbs, drainage, sidewalks, it'll have a safety barrier between the curb to the sidewalk. We're looking at the way to design it, or if we can possibly get this. We don't even know if we're getting this yet.
Jay, you had,
Is there a maximum amount of distance that they can build this, or is there a minimum, or?
well, let me go back to some pictures here.
That would be most likely between you and the.
So there's no
construction
maximum amount for the project cost, but there's a maximum federal share
that you're gonna get.
Which is $500,000. So most applications are somewhere around that amount. It just depends on the organization whether or not they want to participate more in the cost. You can manage.
Should be 75-25, correct?
Yeah,
Could be,
it starts out as a minimum 80-20.
Yeah.
80% federal, 20% local match. It goes up to, I think it's 35.
I don't know what the maximum is.
But you get additional points on your application the more you match.
Well, and if you really look at these pictures, you can see, if you've ever drove out there, basically, when those kids leave the high school to walk over to the grade school, they're walking along the edge of that road there. And if you look down in the bottom left, this would be similar to what they would have to walk on, and possibly curbing, I think, with curbing that road.
Be a 5-foot wide sidewalk.
Harry, is this all, are the different schools, are they all one piece of property?
Yes, this will connect. Do
So
you
they're
have a
all,
picture,
they're
Harold,
all
where they
connected
come-
now?
Do what, sir?
Are they all connected now?
The property's connected, no sidewalk, they're
Okay.
on that road.
Okay, but the properties are all connected?
Yes.
I don't have that overall picture.
So is there an easement problem then with this?
No,
No.
it's basically on the state right of way,
Okay.
yes.
Crosswalks?
But I mean, if you look at the bottom left,
You won't be crossing.
yeah, basically that top left is where you turn on in. They actually got, that used to be dirt over there on the left, and they just threw gravel down where the kids can walk down into Leadwood there, so you actually see that
Tired
it
of
has
the
to
mud.
have a sidewalk to walk on
Tired of the
instead of
mud.
that gravel. And then the bottom right, that's basically, that picture there is down where you would actually go to the grade school. The far top right of that is where it turns to go left down to the grade school.
Frank Clay.
Frank Clay.
Yeah. Okay. Bob?
I noticed that there's a light standard in the,
No lights involved in this.
there's no lighting on this.
That's just a file picture showing the grass strip.
Okay.
Maybe future we'll find a way to light it. And basically, if you've been through Deloche, I mean, if we could light that up like Deloche, I mean, they play ball out there, as bright as they are, but, I mean, they really need that over there. Because your grade school, your high school, your middle school is connected. They actually own the whole property when you were asking Rich. We just need to connect the trail to all of them.
My alter ego said, why doesn't the school district just build sidewalks between the properties? That's just my alter ego. That was a question I had to ask.
If they foolishly want to buy books instead of build sidewalks.
I think we got first and second.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I have a motion and a second on this. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, now,
Now you go to your amended item.
okay. Okay, now, we need to go for the qualified base selection. We have a tall stack of qualifications that we have received in past requests for qualifications. So we don't need to get new ones each time. So we've gone through that stack, and we've chosen 4 top firms, and we've listed them in the order of priority that we think would be the best fitting for this work and for the job at hand. So we have selected those 4, and I guess we need to now make a selection on them. After this, we will negotiate with whichever firm we choose and get the prices and start talking about the actual work to be done. So, do I have a motion to select a company?
After looking at all of them and going through the process of picking the top 1 through 4, actually it kind of falls in our top. We have selected. I'm going to make a motion that we select Cochran Engineering to work with us on this project.
Second?
And I'll second that motion.
Question?
Why them?
Why? Well, because first of all, availability of work, and talking to, we met with Smith and Company yesterday, and they're very busy. And, you know, it's just, their availability, they will work with the grant on us, they will do that, so.
They also have, and I don't mean to interrupt,
Yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
They have also done a lot of different, and I'm sorry, I left my books in there, but they've done an extensive amount of work on sidewalks, bike trails, a lot of the
They
80-20
specialize in this.
They specialize, and a lot of the 80-20 grants that we've gotten, worked with them in the past through Deloche, they're the ones that did our 80-20 grants on conservation grants for sidewalk and trails. So, Smith and Company, of course, you know, Bridge Company mostly, SSC just wasn't in their realm, and Rockland Construction is covered up. So,
Thank you.
And the top 2 have construction companies involved in their business, the bottom 2 do not. Okay. Yes, Bob?
I've got 2 questions. One is I guess the question's really for the state. Has the state, are you in the process, or do you participate in approval of the engineering firm? Since it's on state?
Yes, so what we will do is look at the engineer's estimate for the design and construction inspection of the project. And if it's less than 100,000, we allow the entity the opportunity to choose a consultant from a pre-approved list of engineers.
These firms are on that list?
I know Cochran is.
Smith and Company.
I don't know
is-
about Brockmiller and the SSC, but Smith and Company and Cochran for sure are. The others maybe, I'm just not familiar with the list enough to say yes or no.
My second question is, will the state do the inspection of the construction?
No,
But you'll approve the final project?
kind of, sort of. So we act as a go-between for Federal Highway. Ideally, Federal Highway would be out here administering the project, but we are involved from start to finish of the project, and we help ensure that the county or the city follows federal guidelines whenever they design it. And then whenever it comes time to build it, we go out and we do site visits and ensure that they're following all the proper testing procedures and the sidewalks built according to the plans that we approved and things like that.
Any other questions?
Just a reminder, commissioners, this is all contingent upon the
Subject.
approval of it,
Right.
so.
Yes, it does depend on approval of the grant.
And you've got maybe a 50-50 chance, is that?
It's a pretty good project.
Yeah. But limited funds that's available.
It's limited funds. This year is more funding than we've had in past years. We normally do a 2-year call for TAP, so we won't have another one for another 2 years. But like I said, I think there's $6.2 million, so I'm anticipating some of them are going to be at that max federal level, some are not. So anywhere from 12 plus projects we're going to award, but that's 25 counties and cities, multiple cities that are competing for it. Just in my area alone, I could think of about 15 that's probably putting in.
Well, Louis, to answer your question, I mean, if you drive around the county, and this is basically, you know, a county, the county goes for the grant. This is the safest, best place right now. We need this.
No question about it. My point is, you don't spend the money before you get it.
Right, well, we now will just get in negotiations to get them to apply for the grant.
And one important point is that the deadline for application of the grant is July 15.
So because it's on our right of way, our deadline is actually the 30th of June, but you've gotten enough information to us right now that we can say we support it or we don't. But the true deadlines, based on the comments we send back to you guys, is July 15th.
Yeah, it's coming up. So we need, that's why we've kind of pushed all this.
That's why we're kind of.
Shoved it forward a little bit.
And that's our fault. We put these calls out and we have a really quick
Well, we're gonna
turnaround.
blame you anyway, don't worry about that.
We put you on call waiting.
Here's the scapegoat.
But it's like the rest of the money out there, because just remember, there's that federal money coming down, there's these deadlines that are right upon you, and you've gotta act or do something.
Another one's BRO. That's a big one right now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
so
I
the
believe-
project may not be done till next year.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
Right.
Yeah.
It will be.
You're right.
Okay, I think we have a motion second. And any other questions, comments? All in favor of selecting Cochran Engineering for this project, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, now I think we're done with the agenda, I believe.
Yeah, because we.
Okay, next scheduled meeting is this coming Tuesday. It's a new term, but the 4th is a holiday on Monday, which would normally be a new term. So we'll be here next Tuesday. And the agenda must be done by Friday. Yeah, I didn't put that on there, but the agenda has to be done by Friday of that week, of previous week. Okay, holiday closing, July 4th. Suspected that. And other business, correspondence. Yeah, I have it right here. Ms. Greg Armstrong has done well, and Missouri Secretary of State, or Attorney General, excuse me, has sent a nice letter about that. So we appreciate Greg and what he does. And now, any public comments? Any departmental reports? Yeah,
We started voting, as I said, we got up to 8 votes.
update votes.
So I would encourage as many people as possible to come over and use our office there on Weber. We've got 5 weeks from today to go in there and vote quickly and get out. And then, is there so many
Vote
things that
quickly,
comes up in
sir.
the summer, you know, vacations and things that you forget about that you may or may not be able to.
Vote quickly. Sue's standing over the stopwatch.
She's ready.
I'll be ready this afternoon.
Any other departmental reports?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank y'all.